Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us on a Thursday. Pretty incredible.
Yes, quite the feat. A solo flight. A teenager, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Making her way around the world.
Well, you know, for the first time in quite some time, Ariane, I can't even say your name, got the memo this morning.
Oh, the blue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Kristen's the
Sorry.
accent.
She didn't get the text message this morning, sorry.
Your tie. You got your tie and her dress.
A little bit.
And we do have some sunshine in the forecast heading our way here over the next couple of days as quieter weather takes hold across the region. We're also going to begin to chase our first 60-degree day of the season across parts of South Central as we continue to warm into our Memorial Day weekend. Now, we're still holding on to some of those scattered showers this morning, more so out towards coastal regions. Today's really going to be that transition day across South Central. We're waking up to 41 degrees currently this morning in South Central, or at least in the Anchorage Bowl, and we are seeing some breezy conditions throughout the day, though. Many areas we'll see those rains coming to an end. Any winds we see will begin to subside. So today is really our transition day into a lot quieter weather that will carry us into our Memorial Day weekend. 36 degrees in Golcana. We do have some cloudier skies to the north, and then you can see here in Anchorage, we've got a mix of some sun and clouds staying with us. Some areas may hold on to some cloudy conditions through most of the day, but a good portion of South Central will see quieter weather taking hold and a gradual reduction in that cloud coverage that we have been holding on to for quite some time. So coastal rain staying with us. We do have some isolated activity pushing through the valley this morning, more so out towards Hatcher Pass, where we are seeing the potential for some localized areas of wintry mix. And temperatures today will warm quite nicely into the mid-50s as we head through the afternoon hours. Areas of the Mat-Su Valley could touch near 60 degrees. So we're going to begin to nose our way towards those warmer conditions through the close of this week and welcoming in the weekend, with Saturday and Sunday likely bringing the warmest stretch of weather that we'll see this week into early next week. So we're going to continue to see highs daily warming, upper 50s to near 60 degrees. You can see rainfall potential, certainly a lot less activity. We'll still see some spotty showers in the forecast, but largely expecting drier conditions. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
The people of Israel are resilient people. The people of the United States of America are resilient people. Together we won't be afraid. Together we'll stand.
A horrific shooting in Washington, D.C. overnight leaves a couple dead. And as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu increasing security at missions around the world. We'll have the latest on that investigation in a moment. But first, it was just 2 hours ago that the U.S. House of Representatives approved President Trump's massive tax and immigration package.
Now it moves to the Senate, where Republicans say it could transform the federal government, but both sides are not happy.
This is about providing tax relief to middle-class families.
Now we have to save Medicaid. Hands off our Medicaid.
The legislative package includes measures that would deeply cut into two of the nation's key safety net programs, Medicaid and food stamps. It would also make permanent essentially all of the trillions of dollars of individual income tax breaks contained in the GOP's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That's after marathon negotiations, including a meeting between the president and GOP holdouts yesterday. Naomi Ruckham has today's top story.
By a razor-thin margin and after a marathon night of speeches from both sides, the House of Representatives passed the president's massive budget package, dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
The bill is passed.
Just before 7 a.m. Eastern, in a 215 to 214 vote, all but 2 House Republicans supported the legislation. The bill finally made its way to the floor late Wednesday after a more than 20-hour-long Rules Committee meeting. President Trump himself also met with holdouts from the House Freedom Caucus yesterday, after making a rare trip to Capitol Hill Tuesday to rally support.
Thank you so much.
While celebrating the vote, House Republicans gave all glory to the president.
None of this would be possible without the leadership of President Trump, who every step of the way not only laid out the vision, ran a campaign on this vision, but every step of the way too said, whatever you need, let me know.
The bill would make the 2017 tax cuts permanent and includes additional funding for border security, deportations, and defense, along with spending cuts to entitlement programs. Democrats tried to stall the process, suggesting new amendments and giving speeches, but they didn't have enough votes to stop the bill outright.
Stand up for Medicaid. Stand up for nutritional assistance. Stand up for our children. Stand up for our veterans.
The bill now goes to the Senate, where some Republicans have already voiced opposition. Congressional leaders say they want the legislation on the president's desk by the 4th of July. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
All Democrats oppose the package. The markets tumbled on Wednesday, due in part to concerns that the spending bill could lead to further federal deficits.
The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody. The suspect has been tentatively identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago, Illinois.
New this morning, a suspect has been arrested, and this man, Elias Rodriguez of Chicago, is being interrogated after 2 staff members of Israel's embassy in Washington were shot and killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum late last night. Witnesses at the scene say Rodriguez shouted, "Free Palestine." This is a picture of the couple who was killed. Friends and family say they were expected to be engaged soon. In reaction this morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he is increasing security at Israeli missions around the world. Alice Barr has the latest on this developing story from Washington.
This morning, a tragedy for the Jewish community and the country, striking in the heart of the nation's capital, where 2 Israeli embassy staff members were shot and killed overnight while leaving an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum.
The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody.
The suspect, 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez, remains in custody as investigators look deeper into the motive.
The suspect was observed pacing back and forth outside of the museum. He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire.
Police say he then went into the museum, was arrested, and pointed out where he left the gun. Israel's ambassador to the U.S. spoke about the victims, a young couple, Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky.
The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem. They were a beautiful couple.
The Israeli foreign minister said he'd spoken with Yaron's father.
I told him that his son was a warrior on our diplomatic front that felt just like a soldier in the battlefield.
President Trump posting these horrible D.C. killings based obviously on anti-Semitism must end now. Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. The U.S. Attorney General promising justice.
We'll be doing everything in our power to keep all citizens safe, especially tonight our Jewish community.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned the killings and said he'd ordered Israeli missions around the world to increase security. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Condolences are pouring in from Capitol Hill across the country and the world as the FBI director said FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force has joined in the investigation.
Back here at home, Anchorage's police chief presented a still image during a news conference, claiming it to show the man shot and killed by officers last week had a gun. It comes from police body cam footage. Chief Sean Case says it shows a pistol in the lap of 41-year-old Utuva Alilua, the man fatally shot by an APD officer during a traffic stop.
The involved officer, who's on the passenger side of the vehicle, also recognizes a gun.
Chief Case said the moment the officer stopped Alilua, they saw a gun in his lap. According to the police version of events, the shooting followed after Alilua claimed he didn't have a gun. Wanted on a felony warrant for stealing an agency vehicle, Alilua was not allowed to possess a gun. Case claimed officers didn't have time to check his ID before the shooting. The officers were in Mountain View looking into a felony warrant associated with an unrelated car and saw Alilua driving with a headlight that was out. While Case said body cam footage shows a gun in Alilua's lap, critics questioned the chief's decision to release the image.
The officer on the driver's side opens up the door. The officer on the driver's side observes the gun, and he immediately closes the door. This is a video from the officer on the driver's side. This is the steering wheel. This is his leg. This is his arm and elbow, and this is a gun sitting in the lap. of the driver.
I'm kind of confused, only because, if you've watched Chief Case go over the policy of releasing, body cam footage and photos, video, anything, he has said multiple times that he would not do that unless OSP had finished their review. So I find that very concerning.
Some of those same community voices have continued to call for civilian police oversight, something Case told Alaska's news source this month that is not needed. We did ask the department for a clearer version of the picture, one of only two they showed on a projector. That request was denied.
It's official. School is out for summer in many districts across the state, a time for celebration, but also some sadness at Lake Hood Elementary. Students and staff said their goodbyes, knowing they won't be coming back next year as the school closes for good. Lauren Maxwell explains.
At Lake Hood Elementary, kids are excited on the last day of school, but along with fun activities like this, there is also a sense of something bittersweet.
It's an emotional day, but also a day of, new beginnings.
Lake Hood is one of two ASD schools that will close at the end of this school year. It's part of the district's right-sizing plan to deal with declining populations. Once students and staff leave for the summer, they won't be coming back.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss my school. I'm gonna miss mostly everything.
Students who have been going to Lake Hood since kindergarten, some with parents who graduated from here too.
And I grew up in the school, so it's kind of hard for me, and also because I won't be able to see most of my friends, so yeah.
It's also tough for staff to say goodbye.
It's just going to be weird walking down the hallways just knowing that this is it.
But the principal says her crew is resilient, both students and staff, and some are even looking forward to the changes ahead. At this school, they have a saying.
I definitely know, once a hoodie, always a hoodie.
At least in their hearts, they don't expect that to change. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Lake Hood students will be going to several nearby schools next year, and the building won't be sitting empty. It's slated to become the new home of the Alaska Native Cultural Charter School. Yesterday was also the last day of school for students in Fairbanks. West Valley marked the occasion with a barbecue.
Definitely gonna miss my friends. I'm excited though because I don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning anymore.
I feel like it's a mix of sad and happy because, during the day of school, I have something to look forward to and have something productive.
Going on solo and ensemble trips that we just got back from with Mr. Cluten, those have all been really awesome. So I'm gonna miss that a lot, but hopefully I'll see them around when I go to college up at UAF.
I have a really good group of friends and classmates, and they're all awesome. I love them so much, and I know that sounds really corny, I guess, but they're amazing. I'm a better person because of them.
Of course, wishing all the kiddos a happy, fun summer. And I now have a fourth grader.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing like that last day of school feeling.
Yeah. Well, after the break, Whittier makes history with 3 cruise ships docking simultaneously for the first time.
The new dock and terminal are making it possible, bringing in more visitors and boosting business. We take a look at how this will impact the town's economy.
Activity beginning to dwindle down across South Central with some sunshine making the return as we welcome Memorial Day weekend. I'll have that forecast for you, but first a sunrise. 4:54 in Anchorage, 5:45 in Bethel. Your full forecast is next.
Good morning, everyone. Back here on your Thursday.
Yeah, let's check in with Aaron and see what the forecast is looking like today, Aaron.
We do have some sunshine making a return across South Central. Today will be that transition day as some locations will still manage to see some showery weather, but the overall trend is drier conditions making a return to South Central, particularly for areas that have managed to hold on to that rain. And then, of course, we'll see that gradual return to some sunnier conditions as we close out this week. 46 in Fairbanks, Dead Horse 25 with some light snow showers. Still holding on to seemingly cooler conditions as you head out towards western Alaska, but those temperatures have been slowly moderating throughout the week, and we will see the return to somewhat warmer conditions by week's end. 43 in Juneau. Meanwhile, out towards the Aleutians, that heavy rain and gusty conditions from yesterday, that is winding down, but we are seeing another area of low pressure that's building through parts of the central Aleutians, which will keep at least some showers in the forecast. There's that low from yesterday. It continues to progress eastward. As it does, it is weakening, but we're still seeing some of that showery weather for coastal regions of south central, areas out towards the Kuskokwim Delta, and of course through the interior, we're continuing to hold on to at least some isolated to scattered showers. But looking in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we continue to see that jet stream remaining well to the south of Alaska. This is largely due to why we're seeing these overcast skies. We've got these areas of low pressure that's riding right along this jet stream through the Aleutians. This is why we've got that train of lows that have been with us and will continue to reinforce those wet conditions. We got that low building into the Gulf of Alaska this morning. We've got that low pushing through this central Aleutians this morning, and then another low which will eventually make its approach towards the western Aleutians as we welcome in Friday. So this train of lows will keep some showery weather as well as some windy conditions through the Aleutians as we close out this week and welcome in the weekend. And that's primarily going to stay along the Aleutian Islands and then out towards the Gulf Coast region, largely expecting mainland Alaska to see some drier conditions as the week draws to a close. With that being said, temperatures will warm into the 60s and the 70s from south central into the interior. And as a result of that, we will begin to see some diurnal showers and thunderstorms fire this weekend, particularly out towards the Copper River Basin and areas of the eastern interior. May even see that potential into parts of the Matsu Valley this weekend. So we'll be watching for that. Outside of that chance for some thunderstorms, largely expecting those dry conditions to remain with us as we welcome in the weekend. So for today, we are going to begin to dry out across south central. Those temperatures will warm back into the mid-50s, and we'll see some sunshine breaks throughout the day. And then looking into Memorial Day weekend, those temperatures are shaping up to be quite nice as well. You can see 56 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We nose our way near 60 degrees. And while we can't rule out a stray thunderstorm, largely expecting those dry conditions to take hold. And notice the areas across the interior as well as south central where we're going to see the core of some of those warmer conditions. This is where we're going to be watching for that thunderstorm development this weekend. So overall, though, we are expecting to see some warm conditions taking hold as we welcome in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before some cooler weather begins to build back in across the state. So enjoy that stretch of some warmer conditions that's heading our way for the Memorial Day weekend. That 7-day forecast showing that we'll see those temperatures steadily warm. There's that chance for highs near 60 this weekend. Memorial Day, we are reintroducing some showers looking possible. Overall, though, that stretch of highs staying near 60, making it feel quite nice outdoors.
Oh, looks good. Good to know. Thanks, Aaron.
For the first time ever, 3 cruise ships were able to dock at the same time in Whittier, a historic moment for the small town.
This is all possible because of the new cruise ship dock and terminal. It is located on the far side of the water, which can berth 2 ships at a time, plus the existing dock on the other side closest to town. Whittier is seeing a major influx of tourists. And while most passengers head straight to tour buses or trains, local businesses are already feeling the impact of the increased foot traffic.
I'll be honest, we were all nervous, and we're still a little nervous. The tunnel is our lifeblood, right? And so we're still watching that, but definitely having more people around town, visiting our shops has absolutely made an impact for our businesses. So we're hesitant, we're cautious, but we're also excited.
According to Tor Wallen, general manager for the new terminal, there are 225 jobs related to these 3 cruise ships. And some cruise ship passengers from Whittier made their way to Anchorage, where Visit Anchorage expects a tourism season similar to previous years. The passengers were spotted shopping and dining downtown, with Visit Anchorage saying tourists provide a significant economic boost to the community. They also note that visitors spend an average of $900 to $1,500 during their stay, a much needed source of revenue for small businesses.
We save a lot of money for the winter, working the summers, and the tourists really give us that opportunity to be able to do so. It's a very good impact, I'll say. You know, any day where we see high sales and a close to selling out is a good day for us.
According to Visit Anchorage, the state sees about 40% of its tourism coming from cruise ships, while 60% comes from independent travelers.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.